There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am with a mini book haul. It's not like I don't have a maxi amount of books to show you, but we are in the middle of Vlogmas, and I'm not participating in Vlogmas, but Vlogmas is keeping you all very busy. So I thought if I did a typical 25-minute book haul video, the chances of many of you watching it would be slim to none. So instead, I'm going to put these out in 8 or 10 minute mini hauls, and let's see how that goes, shall we? But you're going to see quite a few of these until Vlogmas goes till Christmas. So maybe after Christmas I'll do longer videos of my book hauls, but I have a ton of stuff to show you as usual. So let's get started. First up is this gay Maori New Zealand novel, Witty Ihimaera, The Uncle's Story. And I was alerted to this because of Leah, whose channel name I have just blanked on, but I don't have to be too hard on myself for forgetting her channel name since she disappeared from BookTube over a year ago, very sadly. Hide and Seek. Leah of Hide and Seek. This is one of her favorite books, and I have kept it on my TBR ever since she made a video about it, and I finally tracked down a used copy, and here it is. It is about a man who uncovers the family secret about his uncle who had fought in the Vietnam War. I assume these characters are Maori, but I don't know that by looking at the back. And I didn't know until Greg of Supposedly Fun talked about another book of his, that he's the author of the famous Whale Rider novel, which was made into a movie, which I haven't seen. I had no idea that was the same writer that Leah talked so passionately about. Published in 2000. I think The Uncle Who Fought in Vietnam is gay, because she talked about it as a gay novel. I should just say at the outset, I like to share the opening sentence or the opening paragraph of books when they have some kind of a standalone vitality, and the fact that this book doesn't, or any of the other ones doesn't prejudice me and shouldn't prejudice you against the book, but no, this one doesn't. So, and now I have my own paper copy of Negar Javadi, Disoriental. This is a BookTube darling. It's been nominated for all kinds of prizes, and I saw this book in the bookstore and did a page 112 test, and I was underwhelmed. Then Jacqueline of 6 Minutes for Me raved about it and told me I was full of you-know-what, and then I did a longer exploration of this book, and the page 112 from the ebook as compared to the paper book did hook me, and then I read a longer section and was really quite intrigued. By that time, the scribd ebook had disappeared, and that's why I have the paper book. This is by a Iranian-French novelist, translated from the French by Tina Culver. Opening a few sentences. In Paris, my father, Darius Satter, never took the escalator. The first time I went down into a metro station with him on April 21st, 1981, I asked him why. His answer was, escalators are for them. By them, he meant you, obviously. And I don't remember where I heard about this, but this is a Welsh novella, and those of you who follow my channel regularly know that I have a deepening interest in Welsh literature, and this one is called One Moonlit Night by Caradoc Pritchard. This one is translated from the Welsh by Philip Mitchell. Set in the mid-1910s in Bethesda, Wales, and it opens with two people being carted off to the asylum. Sounds interesting. How new is it? Apparently it was originally published in the early 1960s and English translation 1995. Opening paragraph. I'll go and ask Hugh's mam if he can come out to play. Can Hugh come out to play, O Queen of the Black Lake? No, he can't. He's in bed, and that's where you should be, you little monkey, instead of going around causing a riot at this time of night. Where were you two yesterday, making mischief and driving village folk out of their minds? This is a Blame It on Greg of Supposedly Fun repurchase. I had this book, The Gifts of the Body by Rebecca Brown, a collection of, I thought it was a collection of short stories, but maybe it's a novel. I believe they're linked short stories about a home care worker who is working in a home that is it's like palliative care, I believe, for people living with AIDS. It was originally published in 1994. probably late 1980s, early 1990s. The stories are set back when AIDS was an automatic death sentence. I attended a conference on AIDS and literature in Key West in the late 1990s, and Rebecca Brown was there, and I bought a copy and got it signed and never read it, and then disposed of it and the rest of my humongous library before I moved to Japan. Greg recently has been raving about this book on his channel. I think he considers it one of his top reads this year. So I bought another copy to see what all the fuss is about. It sounds really moving and really powerful. Each story is titled The Gift of... So the first story, The Gift of Sweat. Next, The Gift of Wholeness, The Gift of Tears. I will check it out. I have two novels by an author from India. I found out about them on Twitter. I don't remember how I found out about them, other than that it was on Twitter, and here they are. The first one, I don't know which comes first, Dara and Boundary. And I have not had much luck finding help. There is a booktuber from India who has reviewed Boundary, but she speaks so fast I can't catch the pronunciation of the surname, and when I slow it down it doesn't help. So I will try to pronounce Anakriti, but the surname I will just do my best. Upadhyay. Can anybody help me? And she is a female writer from India who divides her time. There's that phrase again. She divides her time between Mumbai and Singapore. These were both published in 2019 by HarperCollins. I don't know which comes first. I don't even know if they are connected. Dara is about a young district collector who's working in the remote area of rural Rajasthan and finds himself drawn into the lives of the people that live there, half real and half fable. Boundary is the name of the protagonist. She comes from a tribe of nomadic blacksmiths, and she's married as a child, as is the custom of her people. Opening couple sentences of Dara. I remember the first time we arrived here at the Dak Bangla. Dusk had fallen, but there was just enough light to confirm my suspicion that Saheb had brought us to yet another burning, godforsaken wilderness in the desert's entrails. And the opening couple sentences of Boundary. Boundary was tall for her age, dark-skinned, with the sun-bleached hair of a nomad, startling cat-like eyes in her shadowy face. She was always noticeable among the group of girls and boys with whom she grazed her mother's goats. Oh, these sound very intriguing. Next up is another Welsh novel, Creed, by Margot Evans. So Margot Evans is actually a British writer, an English writer who lived most of her life on either side of the Wales-England border. And most of her stories are centered on characters who lived on either side of the Wales-English border. I have read two by her before. Margot Evans is a pseudonym for Peggy Eileen Whistler. Country Dance, her 1932 novel, I absolutely loved, and it was brought to my attention by Charlotte of Tired Mama Tries to Read. We did a buddy read together with Ange of Beyond the Pages, and then we read her next novel, Turf or Stone, 1934, and it was awful, I have to say. This is the next novel in her oeuvre, Creed, 1936, so I'm hoping that this is better than the last one. Oh, and it's her fourth and final novel, so I don't know. There's one missing in that cycle that I need to find out about. It's set on a fictional industrial border town, characterized by drunkenness and brawls. Okay, well, that sounds like my life in the 1980s. Okay, the missing novel that I had not heard about is Margot Evans' 1933 novel, The Wooden Doctor. And it's available. It was reprinted in 2005 by Hono Press, so I might want to track that down. Oh, I love the opening paragraph. I wonder how you pronounce this guy's first name. It's a Welsh name. I guess you can pronounce it Ifor or Iffor. Ifor Morris was the Welsh parson of a large parish some 3 or 4 miles out of Chepsford. Here is a list of his public sins. He was dishonest. He was irreverent towards the formula of the church. He got drunk. He knew disreputable people. He sent his money spinning the wrong way round. Oh my God, I want to read this right now. Whew. The last one for this mini book haul is a book of short stories by one of my new favorite writers. She's not a new writer. She's fairly new to me. And that is Cora Sandel. This collection is called The Silken Thread, and it's very glossy. Look at, you can see the reflection of my iPad screen in the cover. Translated from the Norwegian with an introduction by Elizabeth Rokan. So, Elizabeth Rokan is the translator of her trilogy of autobiographical novels, the Alberta trilogy, and I read Alberta and Jacob last year, Alberta and Freedom this year, and by the time I finished the second novel, I was ready to shout from the rooftops that Cora Sandel is one of my very most favorite writers. And these are, the subtitle here is The Silken Thread Stories and Sketches. And these stories and sketches date from between 1904 and 1972. The trilogy, the 2 volumes of the trilogy, were written in the 1920s, I think. So I am just fascinated by her, and now I have another book of hers to read. It's worth noting, because I don't think I've ever noted it in any of my reviews, that Cora Sandel is a pseudonym. This writer's real name is Sarah Fabricius, I believe would be the pronunciation. Sarah Fabricius, born in Oslo in 1880. So that is my mini book haul. I am so excited. Thanks for watching.